Hi and welcome to this Severne Shop video. Now I'm Neil Greentree, Principal Team Rider, and as you guys know, I on my journeys try and nail down every Severne Team Rider around the world that I can talk to. But one guy has eluded me because of his commitment to getting the ultimate wave. And here we are in NWF at 2018, and I am sitting with the man, Timo Mullen. Sir, it's a pleasure meeting you. We've met before, but you know, you're an elusive guy.
Well, I think I'm elusive due to my keenness to find the conditions and not commit to anything as well. And why I've been to a few NWFs before, but I've never commit to anything, like particularly dates. It's, you know, like my wife says, you know, we got a wedding we got to go to. I'm like, yeah, I might be able to go because, well, a lot of people don't know I've got a full-time job. So to try and balance my windsurfing into my full-time job, I've got to grab the wind and waves while they're there whenever I can. So I'll scan the forecasts, and if it looks good somewhere, I'm going to go if I've got time to do it.
And that makes it even more amazing because one of the things that you are one of the legends. You may not feel like a legend, but you are one of the legends in windsurfing because you have kept your profile, kept some of the best images of windsurfing there are around. I think you team up with John Carter, don't you?
Yeah.
And so between you both, some of the best and most impressive images makes it even more impressive. I didn't even know you had a full-time job, that you can go around, commit to those places and stay at the top for so long. Yet I can't remember you being on the PWA, but you say you were.
Yeah, well, I love competing. Like, you know, I'm like any of the guys, you know, like the real benchmark to gauge how good you are is to compete.
Right.
Because obviously then if you get high up the rankings, it shows that the level you're at, you know, it's the only acclaim you can get, really, to say somebody, you know, unless you're getting interviewed by you and telling me I'm good.
But what I was going to say is I would say you and not too many others have gone beyond that. So you no longer have to compete because your name precedes you. You have earned your stripes in other areas.
Yeah, so I've done a few PWA events. I think the best I've done was the 17th. That would have been, back, you know, when Polakar and Angulo and Kylie and all those guys were on the tour. And I'm not saying the 17th now, it's just as hard to do, but that was like, you know, we were like, oh God, I've made it through like a couple of heats. I won Tyree Wave Classic, is probably the biggest thing I've won. And you kind of like, one thing I noticed early on was like, say for example, I won the Tyree Wave Classic. I remember I probably got the least amount of coverage I've ever got for the biggest thing I've ever done in windsurfing.
That's tough.
And what I kind of clicked from that was, do you know what, actually, if I do travel stories, you know, I can get my sponsors so much more coverage than going to an event, winning it, and I get them one photo. And
that is what, the last time we talked, I really got from you. You're a businessman in this game of exposure because you know exactly what you're doing. Well, you say you don't know what you're doing, but you do because you understand that, as you say, exposure is the currency of a pro sailor.
I think it's got more like that nowadays as well. You know, I've actually had to adapt to the whole social media thing. Quite quickly. I have to say I probably don't agree with the whole social media side of windsurfing as much.
That's our generation.
But what I think,
just getting old and miserable.
Yeah, well, I think what it is to me is windsurfing should be based on, you know, for sponsorship, for example, is probably based on talent, number one. But there is a slight turning of the dial where it's actually your talent on the laptop.
We see it on TV and reality shows. Talent doesn't count for much. It's about
the exposure and the entertainment value. So you've had to balance all of that up, but
you're still rocking it.
Yeah,
Come on, you're still getting some fantastic shots out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, so what I try to do is still maintain, you know, try to set myself goals on your level. So each year I'll start the year and go, I want to learn this move. So,
Right.
and what that'll do is it keeps your standard high, you know.
Yep.
So, because if you're keeping your level high, you kind of, you know, just for your own peace of mind.
So what is your move this year?
Well, my move last year was floored off the lip, landed back in the wave,
Yep.
and I've pretty much got them now. I get the way I gauge it. If you get annoyed that you haven't landed it, is when you know you've sussed a move.
Okay.
So if you don't land it and get annoyed, it's because you know you can do it.
Can do it.
So for next year, I think this move will be a lot more down to I'll have to find the right conditions, but it's to land a back loop off the lip back into the wave, which I know Ricardo, I think, is the only guy that's landed one of these. I've actually seen
Pretty high standard, isn't it?
I've seen Antoine, like Mini Antoine.
Yeah.
I've seen him actually land one, but then crash. But Ricardo, I think, is the only guy that's actually landed one. But I think in my head it's possible, and obviously when you see somebody like Ricardo land it, it is possible. So I think I can do it. So that's my goal. So you know,
You heard it
hopefully,
here first.
Yeah. So hopefully, but again, you need a very, you need
Here
very,
come the caveats.
yeah, you do need very specific conditions. I think if you interviewed Ricardo, he'd be saying
Right,
the
look,
same.
mate, if you're
Yeah.
doing that stuff, my God, and you've been doing this a long time now.
Yeah.
How many years?
Yeah, so
Take a guess.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly. I've been doing this, I'd say 15, so 30 years.
30
Wave
years.
sailing.
My God.
Yeah.
Severne, how long have you been with Severne now?
Severne, I've been with 15 years.
And what makes you continue to go? Because that's a long time. What is the driver with Severne that has kept you?
Oh, I think they're the only people that'll have me.
You're not supposed to say that, Timo.
I think when and I think this is what when people move over to Severne sails, they'll buy themselves one, and I think with the sails, it's almost like you can't use anything else after you've used the Severne because they're so easy to use.
Yep.
There's nothing technical to how to use them. You just get on them and they seem to work. They do the job for you. And it's kind of like, I remember Brazinho said in an interview once that windsurfing companies have got pro windsurfers over a barrel, because at the end of the day, we'd all do this for free anyway, because we love it.
Well, yeah.
So I think that's a bit with Severne. When you start using their sails, you're like, I couldn't use anyone else's sails.
But I've always, I don't know, I've kind of gathered, knowing Ben Severne as I do on a different kind of level to you do, it's a very organic relationship.
Yeah.
So there's no politics, certainly on our side, ever gets involved in it. He's just simply about building great products. You are a very good sailor who feeds back on his great products. And to me, I've always looked on from the outside and gone, that whole relationship between you and the brand is really organic. So
yeah, like we'll work. The good thing about working with someone like Ben is like, you can say something quite layman terms, you know, like I don't know the intricacies of sail design or anything like that there, but I'll tell Ben exactly how the sail felt and he can translate that. So he goes away, you know, with that info I've given him, which is quite basic info, but he can translate what I have felt from a sail and turn it around. But to be honest, I've never actually had to give him much feedback other than, you know, can I have more of those? They're brilliant. You know, it's
fair play. So you are now at the moment sailing what?
So at the moment I ride all blades. I've got a 5.6 S1. Reason why, because a lot of people do ask me, Timo, why have you got an S1 5.6 when all you ride is blades? Answer to that question is the 5.1 or the S1 5.6 rigs on a 400 mast.
Yep.
So my entire quiver, I only have to have 370s and 400 masts.
So it's based on laziness then.
Well, it's also when you travel. It's quite,
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
So when you travel, I can go somewhere, like I've just been to Mauritius. Actually, the most used sail I had used there was my 5.6.
Okay.
So I was able to bring 3 masts, all 400s. So if I did, have a big heavy wipeout and broke a mast, I don't have to have only one 430 with me. I've got three spare masts, all that fit my whole quiver. And even down to like a 4.2, I could probably use that with a 400 as well. So it just allows me to travel easier.
And board-wise?
And then board-wise, I got a full set of the Nano. I've just got my hands on the new Mako waveboard, which is just about.
When I spoke to Ben, he said Timo wanted this board, so I made him this board.
Yeah, well,
so it's your board, mate.
Yeah, so the reason why we went, because it'll probably be we've got one here actually at NWF that you'll be able to show the guys in your channel. The reason why we wanted Mako, or I wanted one, is because a lot of the places I go to travel, they are pretty like full on, like steep, fast, gnarly waves, and I can use the Nano in those waves as well.
Yep.
But just like to get a little bit more performance out of that wave, probably not out of the board, it's out of the wave. I wanted a more gunny traditional waveboard profile.
Okay.
And that's what the Mako brings. It probably gives it just maybe a more like I can travel anywhere in the world with this board, and it doesn't matter what wave I come across.
It's kind of your signature board.
Yeah. And what we wanted to do with this board as well was still make a really high level performance waveboard that actually can still planes early, still fast. So it's still got all the characteristics that probably 99% of wave sailors do want.
Yep.
But you could take this to Cape Verde, Mauritius, Nauru, some of the heavy reef breaks in Ireland, up to Scotland, Cornwall, but this board will still perform for an average wave sailor as well.
Okay. So now you tried the dyno.
Yeah,
I've seen a picture with you on the dyno.
Yeah, I love my dyno. I've got myself a 105 dyno. Like I get, I don't mind sharing it with people. I get given a budget for the amount of boards I'm allowed from Severne, and I'll put,
That's testament for the board.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realise, and I think it should be publicised more, is that yes, I ask for a dyno. Yeah. I ask for a free ride, freestyle waveboard. And I've also got a Fox in my quiver. I've got a 120 litre Fox.
Yeah.
And the reason is I'm like any windsurfer. I want to be out in the water all the time. If it's like a Saturday and it's flat everywhere, but there's 15 knots of wind, I'll put my 7.5, turbo GT on my 120 Fox, and I'll have a ball. Yeah, like maybe after an hour, I've had enough.
Yeah.
But I've had my hour of power and I'm stoked and I've got the buzz, I've got the smile. My wife's going to get, plenty of presents that day because I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, you dug yourself out of that nicely.
Yeah.
Okay, but what you're saying, and this is probably what makes you the legend you are. This love of windsurfing is right in there, absolutely in there. So in other words, when that camera turns off, you're not just like,
I'm thinking kind of foil today is what I'm already looking at. I'm looking at it's like 8 knots. Yeah, I'll probably be able to foil today. So yeah, I think that's what we tried to like with Severne and the boards and the sails is like, we're always trying to remember that to simplify everything because at the end of the day, people just want to go windsurfing. They don't want to be thinking about does my kit work? Is my board not working properly? Is my sail not working properly? Because that's the things you shouldn't be thinking about. The things you should be thinking about is am I putting enough rail in the water to do my carve jibe properly? Not is my board capable of putting enough rail in the water.
And do you know the interesting thing is with this chat, and I've spoken to most of the pros around over the 10 years I've been doing this, and that is I sit here and this interview has taken a different shape to almost every other I've had, and that is you're just going windsurfing because you want to go.
Yeah.
And honestly, it seems to be it's gone no further than that. You don't mind what you're doing, you just want to go windsurfing, which, speaking to most other pros, they come from the other way, and that is, what do I need to achieve from this session? And they look at it that way, whereas you still don't.
No.
You still are. Just going to put that on my face.
Yeah. I'm quite happy. If I always say my like benchmark for having a good day's windsurfing is planing. If I can go out, and we've all done it, we've launched, we've shot off the beach, planed for the first 100 meters, and then the wind drops.
Yep.
But we've planed for 100 meters, so you can technically scratch that off as a day's windsurfing. You've planed.
Hold on, but you'll drive 7 hours for that.
Yeah, well, I'm only human. I will be pretty gutted with that, but yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm pretty nuts. I have to admit that for my.
But that is what has kept you at the top, and so look, we are super pleased about getting this chance to have a chat with you. There are so many people who admire what you do and what you continue to do, because you keep inspiring the rest of us to go, do you know, we can't do what you do, and we can't do it in the locations that you do it. But the nice thing that you do is you also do it around this island, around the UK, so we can relate to what you do.
Yeah, so what I try to inspire from people from my travels is to just make people look at a broader picture.
Yep.
And go like, okay, I don't need to go to Maui, I don't need to go to Australia to do this. This is all available, within our island.
Absolutely.
And whether they probably won't go to where we go in Scotland in the Hebrides to go wave sailing, but what it might inspire them to do is leave their local beach and drive maybe 50 miles north or south to find that better break.
Yeah. Well, I think even on a level, when we've sat at home, we go, do we, don't we, do we, don't we? We then think of you and go, no, we just go.
Yeah. You just get, exactly. And if that gets somebody off their sofa and just goes, actually, could it be bothered to go today? Because I get it, I'm only human. I'll be like, can I be arsed to go today? It's only 12 knots. And then I go, do you know what? If I get 20 minutes, that 20 minutes is gonna, it might, well, you have to look.
You get up at 3 a.m. to go to some bloody wave somewhere to catch it.
But
you can't tell us that you sometimes think, no, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, well, what I do, people don't realise is everything I do is calculated. So to me, getting up at 3 a.m. to go there isn't a risk, because I've already done it. I've already seen that forecast before, and I know that that's more than likely going to be good. So to me, it's stupid not to go, because I know when I get there, I'll sail for 3 hours in like pretty much perfection.
Yeah.
That I always related to, if you went to Fuerteventura for a week and had that 1 3-hour session I just had,
yep,
you'd have claimed it as the best week's holiday you've ever had.
Yep.
So that's how
you just do that every week of every month.
And that might only cost me 70 quid in fuel, and that 1 week in Fuerteventura would have cost me 700 quid. So to me, I've saved money.
But Timo, it's been a pleasure having this chat with you. It's been worth waiting 10 years to sit you down and give, I suppose, this insight into how Timo works, because you do it differently to everyone else, and we love the way you do it. Continue doing it, but just make sure you do it with Severne.
Yeah, we will.
Thanks for watching, guys.